work of the media, principally, is to comfort the afflicted, and afflict the comfort. And the role of any free and fair media must be to annoy. So press freedom includes the freedom to annoy. The Media Council of Kenya, well, there has been history about it. We would like to draw its history foundation on the Constitution, Article 34(5)(b), which says that there will be an institution whose role will be to set media standards, monitor and ensure their compliance. But principally, the institution will have two functions: to promote press freedom, and number two, ensure professionalism. That's why we envision a country where we have a professional, free and fair media accountable to the public. The Media Council Act number 46 of 2013, which set up the Media Council of Kenya, which you see now. It gave the dual function. Number one is regulate media, and number two, promote media development.
The Act also goes ahead and provides the scope of the people it covers. There's the issue of the journalists. We have media enterprises, which are now the media stations. We have the media practitioners. We have consumers of the media.
Broadly, the act that set up the Media Council broke down our functions to 15. Setting standards, accrediting people, resolving conflicts in the media. But they're basically summarized into 6 A's. We do a lot of training, capacity development, mentorship. That is summarized in the academy.
We do partnerships with training institutions to offer them training materials, training expertise, and training modules. We work on accreditation and checking if the training institutions meet the law in terms of requirements, equipment, personnel.
We set up the MCK Academy. Also, the whole idea is to channel our training initiatives, because training is one of the largest things that we do. But we want to have it well-structured, partnerships with universities and colleges, more robust courses, and more people benefiting.
There is development of curricula for colleges and training institutions for all the young journalists that are coming from high school, going into college, to get a harmonized curricula which trains them on the principles of journalism, the practice of journalism. We also develop curricula touching on subjects of emerging issues. For example, we have developed a curriculum on climate change. We also have a media viability curriculum for those people who are already in the media but are finding themselves taking up more roles and more tasks in management and running media as a business. We have also integrated a portion of some of those courses, especially the media practitioners training for persons with disability.
We handle conflicts when people have feel that the media has offended them under adjudication, because that's under the Complaints Commission, where either we have issues, people complaining against media coverage, or the members of the media think either government or certain public have treated them unfairly. So it's a quasi-judicial mechanism.
Under Schedule 2 of the Media Council Act, we have the Code of Conduct for the Practice of Journalism. That is where the Media Complaints Commission derives its mandate, and it plays the role of adjudicating and mediating media-related disputes. There are various platforms. One, you can write an email and address it to the registrar. Two, you can write a letter via the postal address. Three, you can even write a WhatsApp message. We have phone numbers on the website. And also, last but not least, we also accept walk-in complaints. You can just walk in and address your matters to the registrar. We encourage efficient, cheap and fair processes rather than the long and expensive court processes. Some of the remedies that we have at the Complaints Commission is, one, we can order that a party renders an apology, does a correction, and at times, depending on the severity of the complaint, at times we may fine a journalist, and we may also direct a journalist to be suspended from the role, and that is only where there's a grievous breach of the Code of Conduct.
Number three, we do advisory, because we are mandated within the Act to advise government agencies and other public bodies about the role of the media, how to handle media and all that. We do advisory through general advisories. We write to Parliament when we think that they are, we write to the Cabinet when we think they are missing a point and all.
Safeguarding media independence and freedom takes tangible work. In order to achieve this, the Council has in place a committee known as Regulatory Affairs. Its work is to look into regulatory and legislative landscape of the media in Kenya and make necessary recommendations.
Then we do advocacy. Advocacy is the broadest sense of lobby. You want to lobby for more allocation for funds. You want to lobby for laws that protect media freedom. You want to get more digital spaces. You want to talk to the UN.
We are running a very active fact-checking desk that ensures that we minimize misinformation, which is a very big threat to press freedom. We are running a very rich research unit where we have to get continuously new information and data on media trends in the country so that then the advocacy program can work with the government and stakeholders to improve the legal framework for media practice in the country.
The Council does its advocacy work through partnerships and collaborations with stakeholders in the industry. One of the things that the Council does to ensure that impunity against journalists is prevented is through capacity building, training and sensitization of all stakeholders around the rights and privileges of journalists. The Council has allocated resources in ensuring that they are able to undertake emergency response mechanisms. The Council works closely with security agencies to ensure that those who perpetrate crimes against journalists are dealt with and are brought to justice.
Currently, the Ministry of ICT has a task force in place appointed by the Minister to look into and make recommendations into the review of the media policy in Kenya.
One of the biggest things we do here is media monitoring and analysis, content. We monitoring standards, levels of journalism. We want to see professionalism. We want to see violation of the code of ethics and all that.
Media monitoring is what really informs the media, what you call media ethics and media law. What is happening in media, what newspapers are publishing. We look at broadcasts, which includes TV and radio, and we examine that content against the code of conduct for the practice of journalism. And then we are able to advise the management.
The law mandates us to maintain a register of all journalists, media enterprises and associations. That's through annual accreditation. So you ask us, we will have a list of all journalists in the country, the media houses, the departments where they fall, freelance journalists.
There are quite a number of innovations that have been done. First, through the creation probably of an accreditation portal. It is online, so that the journalists are able to log in and be able to be given the accreditation passes, and also the media houses.
All journalists in Kenya are required to get accreditation when they start practicing. They also require an accreditation card. We have an accreditation portal that is accessible through our website. They upload their documents, their school certificates, a photo of themselves, a reference letter from their employer. We review them to see whether they are in line with the accreditation guidelines. For foreigners, in addition to that, we need them to upload copies of their passports and their work permit. For students, the only requirement is a recommendation letter from the school they are in and also a copy of their school ID. For freelance, we require them to get a reference letter from the media house they submit their work to. Our cards have very clear distinctive features. First of all, there's the MCK number, which one can verify through an SMS code 40314. The benefits of getting accredited with the Media Council of Kenya is that, first of all, it shows that you are a professional. Second, you have the leeway to attend events that are organized either by government or private sector. So once you are accredited, then you will be able to get these grants. You will also now be able to go for events that are organized outside the country.
We engage in special activities like over the COVID-19. We provided financial support to journalists who were sick or were in distress.
In 2020, The Media Council of Kenya managed to assist over 400 radio stations, most of them in the rural areas, including online TV stations, to stay afloat during the worst of the pandemic times. At the same time, we assisted over 800 journalists with health grants made possible through our donor partners to write health stories related to the pandemic. And the Media Council also did several other interventions to assist the practice of journalism in Kenya during the COVID pandemic.
We ran several interventions to improve journalism practice, and among them is the annual Journalist of the Year Award. We ran the mentorship program, we ran the travel grants. We are providing 400 opportunities to media and journalism students to get attached to various media outlets at the expense of the council, which then will also involve inspection, quality control, and supervision.
The Media Council of Kenya takes practice of journalism very seriously and seeks to celebrate those who excel in the work they do every day as journalists, as photographers, as cameramen, even as reporters. And this we do through the annual Journalism Excellence Awards, AJEA, which happens every year to celebrate stories that have been done over the last 12 months, stories that are exemplary, stories that actually incorporate the principles of journalism.
When the Media Council was set up in 2013, there were 9 TV stations and about 30 radios. Today we are talking about 100 TV stations and 300 radios, and a bunch of about 40 or 50 online media outlets. We have a 2018-2023 strategic plan, which we set out, number 1, to open regional offices. This year we have set up 4 regional offices: Mombasa, Kisumu, Nakuru, and Meru. We have provided ad hoc support to media because of the pandemic. We want to normalize that and structure through the Media Diversity Fund, so that there is a special fund that then channels this, so that it's not a special initiative we do all the time, but a special purpose vehicle whose work is to contribute and create a fund to support media initiatives, individuals, media houses, or associations.
We seek to have journalists writing ethical stories. We seek to have journalists follow the principles of journalism when they write their stories, so that their stories come out well. Good journalism is actually about people. Good journalism is ethical. Good journalism communicates the needs of the people and even seeks to influence and impact those who listen to the stories.